Hello, friends. Welcome to another super Sunday at PowerTime with your hostess, Sharon Herbert, the Power RN. We're here, of course, for you. We're here for the world of nursing, and we are so excited. We're so excited to meet you again. And we always want to share something with you, and hopefully you can share back. And or if you have questions, please, you can add them to the presentation today, or if you come back on replay, you can find us there, because you know what we say, sharing is caring. So we're here for you. Today's presentation, we hope, we'll make it. Oh, it's a little after 5, so we're just on time. We want to remind you today about one of my favorite words, and I guess it's a favorite circumstance. And you have to think about what you think about together. Together, working together, being together, thinking together, presenting together, solving problems together, even identifying problems or circumstances together. Because together we are better. Always. We are better. And we're pretty good, even in the one-on-one. But together, we are better. And it's a reminder that we need to prepare. If we haven't thus far, or you haven't thus far, you need to think about today is the 15th of December, 2024. And coming soon is 2025. 2025, does that scare you? Because it scares me. 2025. I keep hearing day and night and day. And of course, I have to sometimes give myself a break from all of that as well as you do. But think about 2025 and all of the changes in the world of health and wellness. We're going to leave some of those things that aren't in our wheelhouse to some other folks, but health and wellness is in our purview. Where do you think you'll be? What do you think 2025 will mean for you? For your workplace, for your community, for your family, for your elders. If you have parents that are still here and you're helping take care of them, or you're helping them stay healthy, is it going to be a challenge for you? Is it going to be a challenge for them? So what do you think? Because the moment today that I heard this particular message about the power of partnership, it made me think of you. Together, we must come together to prepare. Because we like preventive measures. We don't always like to run behind something that's broken. So we like prevention. And I've heard, and you may have as well, about vaccines in 2025. And I'm not going to go through the whole 9 yards, but I will say this. It's scary. It is scary. Now, I thought of you and many of you who have barely just got through your anxiety about COVID and the pandemic. And here we are. We're hearing about removing vaccines from the focus for the measures of health and wellness, especially for children. Now, we know, most of us know, if we are functioning adults today, that we have had the understanding that children, most children, do get specific vaccines in order to go to school. But we know that along times things have changed, and we probably have more vaccines than when you and I were younger, but they do serve a purpose. And we're talking about being well. It's important to you and to me because, like COVID time and the pandemic, you and I, yes, nurses, got to, even if we didn't ask for it, to draw the short straw and be designated to care for all of the people who were sick. And more people got sick. And fairly somewhere down the road, after the pandemic was designated, there was a practice that met the marker for a lot of people. A vaccine was created, and the many people who died of the pandemic, even though they weren't absolutely well, they were able to make it through. And here we are today, understanding that the vaccine saved so many people. And many of you know some people who didn't make it. But we also know that nurses worked night and day and night, 12 hours, 16 hours, days like that in a row and in a row and in a row. And nurses suffered as well. But this we know, that as usual, nurses, gifted persons who are health and wellness providers, we always make it something new and something different. Yes, we needed PPE during COVID. And of course, there wasn't enough because there never is enough. Because who knows how many gowns, gloves, and such are needed on any unit on any given day. We often are challenged to make something out of nothing. And you all know some stories about making isolation and protective types of equipment out of items we had on the unit. Trash cans we used. You didn't have so many of the red buckets for your sharps, and you piled those together and made a space and a particular way that those items would be used. Or if it was really not safe to do that, but maybe you would make your isolation gowns out of trash bags. I've heard those stories as well. We have to make changes while we're running. And this is what we do. It's not always the best practice, but if your organization doesn't have PPE, how are you going to care for your patients? And have you ever been told that you don't have to care for those patients because there are no gowns? No, I don't believe you ever have heard that. But together, for 2025. We must prepare for 2025. If it comes to the time where there are people who are against vaccines, and they are, by the way, not often healthcare providers with the education and experience to understand or educate each other or bring and notice to the communities and to the public that is scientifically based. We have to be there for those times and those moments that your patients will ask you questions. It's going to be another time where you are on the front lines. On the front lines, we stay. We stay together. And together we must prepare for the times when there are no longer many persons, and especially children, who are receiving the standard vaccines that have been given to children. Those are things like mumps, measles, yes, polio, yes, and recently we have COVID, yes, and we have varicella. They didn't have those things when I was growing up. But today, there are ways to help children stay healthy and well and safe without getting polio. And as well, who knows where there are polio and or other vaccine units for hospitals now to fill up. They're going to have no spaces. Right now, there are not many spaces for organizations to cordon off a unit and make it a polio unit or a chickenpox unit or a varicella. Chickenpox unit, varicella, same thing. Any of those mumps, measles. Where are we going to put those persons and who will take care of them? I bet you know who will draw the short straw. It will be you, and it will be your colleagues. We have to come together to work to understand what is happening in the places where these guidelines and rulings are coming from, what they are saying, where they're getting information, and how we will be at the forefront of a lot of these places. Together, we have to come together and find out where we're headed and who we will be serving. It will probably be fewer of us who have ever had a patient or a child in the hospital on your unit with mumps. You probably never have heard of such a thing. But we have got to come together to help prevent some of these illnesses, whether it is today or tomorrow. We must get started. Our gifts are very treasured, and we know that we are at the front of the thinking of what's next and what's new. So we must come together to care for our patients, of all kinds. Our colleagues build our organizations and save and serve the communities. We are using our gifts as we function for the greater good. We are not saying we all are standing for vaccines because it's for me. We are serving the greater good as we usually do. And together, we must work together. Together, we are better together. And we can reach out to bring new providers and caregivers into the fold to help promote health and wellness. And whether we're making isolation gowns or cleaning the rooms or answering the phone, there are things that we can do to help build positive income for the organization to able to reach resources and to be able to provide best care, which leads to best outcomes. And we know these things. And along the way, it helps all of us to learn and grow and connect, building the chain of the gifted as we serve and connect with the communities that are having struggle. They're having struggles before they even come to the hospital. They're coming to the hospital when they're sick. And it is not always that they will come. They may be sick at home with no solutions and no remedy, and sharing at those times might not be caring. They may be passing on their illness to other persons. And that is not a best thing for the community, and it may not lead to best outcomes. And we're all about best outcomes for the persons that we serve, as well as prevention for those we have yet to meet. We want to keep them well, and urgency is required. We can't wait until 2025 and the floodgates, like COVID, open up and we are all drowning. We are so good at solutions. We can get started now building solutions together. Together we will serve, not one on one. We will think together and we will work together and we will learn and grow together. Together we are better. And each member of our team and the body of nursing will work together to bring the solutions. All of us have a gift, and we are good sharers of those gifts. We must value our gifts as it is important to the community and the patients who need care and service, but as well for the colleagues, for you, so that you are not infected and you don't bring any of those carriers out of the hospital or doctor's office to the public. We don't want to do that. So we need to remember we are so important, such an important part of the healthcare system. And it is so important that you care for yourselves as well. We must care for ourselves, and that means that we must have the resources necessary to care for ourselves. And with all of the gifts that each of us brings to the forefront, we will make fewer mistakes than any other time that we've been trying to do something we've never done one on one. Together we are better. So let's do together for 2025. Especially, we're just moving through December. December, this is another graduating season for nurses. They will be taking their licensure exams and coming to work. And coming to work with you. So make sure that you have open arms and open minds. They don't know how you work yet. And they should and will ask questions. And it's okay, they should. Reach out to them and they will grow and serve much better than if you just ignore them and leave them to the side. Grow together, each and every one, whether it's a respiratory therapist or an x-ray tech, a lab tech. You all know how the organization runs, and you know that there will be times when you will be looking at each other and saying, I'm so glad you came by. I'm so glad you're on shift today because together we are better. Be well, my friends. Oh, 2025 is on the way. And we know we must be prepared. Don't go in blindly, but make sure that you know what's going on in your community, in the world as well. Your community is going to need you every single day. We love you so, so much. And remember that you are important. You are valuable. And you are irreplaceable. Let's keep you as healthy and well as we can. Mental and physical health matter. And there are coaches, mentors, supervisors, managers that can help you as well as you can help them. Together we can. We'll see you soon and have a great, great rest of your day. You are so important. Keep your heads up and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.